Numbers 29. 1. In the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you shall have a holy convocation, no servile work shall you do, it shall be for you a day of sounding of trumpets. 2. Then you shall offer a bull, a ram, and 7 male lambs a year old without blemish for a burnt offering, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. 3. And for his grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 for the bullock and 2/10 for the ram. 4. And 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. 5. And 1 goat for a sin offering, to make atonement for you. 6. In addition to the burnt offering of the month, and its food offering, and the continual burnt offering, and its food offering, with their drink offerings, according to their ordinance, as a sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord. 7. And on the 10th day of this 7th month you shall have a holy convocation, and you shall afflict your souls, ye shall do no work. 8. But for a burnt offering, a sweet savor to the Lord, you shall offer 1 bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs a year old, they will be without blemish. 9. And for his meat offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 for the bull, 2/10 for the ram. 10. And 1/10 for each of the 7 lambs. 11. 1 goat for a sin offering, in addition to the sin offering by propitiations, and the continual burnt offering, and its food offering with its drink offerings. 12. Likewise, on the 15th day of this 7th month you shall have a holy convocation, no servile work shall you do, but 7 days you shall celebrate a feast to the Lord. 13. And you shall offer for a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, of a sweet aroma to the Lord, 13 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old, all of them flawless. 14. And for their grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 for each of the 13 bulls, 2/10 for each ram between the 2 rams. 15. And 1/10 for each of the 14 lambs. 16. And 1 goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering, its meat offering, and its drink offering. 17. Then, on the 2nd day, 12 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish. 18. And their food offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number, according to the ordinance. 19. And 1 goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering, its meat offering, and its drink offerings. 20. And on the 3rd day, 11 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish. 21. And their food offerings, and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number, according to the ordinance. 22. And 1 goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, and its meat offering, and its drink offering. 23. And on the 4th day 10 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish. 24. Their food offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number, according to the ordinance. 25. And 1 goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering, its meat offering, and its drink offering. 26. And on the 5th day, 9 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs a year old without blemish. 27. And their food offering, and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number, according to the ordinance. 28. And 1 goat for a sin offering in addition to the continual burnt offering, and its food offering, and its drink offering. 29. And on the 6th day, 8 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish. 30. And their food offering, and their drink offerings for the calves, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number, according to the ordinance. 31. And 1 goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering, its meat offering, and its drink offering. 32. And on the 7th day, 7 bulls, 2 rams, 14 male lambs a year old without blemish. 33. And their food offering, and their drink offerings for the bulls, for the rams, and for the lambs, according to their number, according to their ordinance. 34. And 1 goat for a sin offering, in addition to the continual burnt offering, its meat offering, and its drink offering. 35. On the 8th day you shall have a solemn day, no servile work shall you do. 36. And for a burnt offering, an offering made by fire, of a sweet aroma to the Lord, you shall offer 1 young bull, 1 ram, 7 male lambs a year old without blemish. 37. Their food offering and their drink offerings for the bull, for the ram and for the lambs, according to their number, according to the ordinance. 38. And 1 goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, and its meat offering, and its drink offering. 39. These things shall ye do unto the Lord in your feasts in addition to your vows, and your freewill offerings, with your burnt offerings, and with your meat offerings, and with your drink offerings, and with your peace offerings. 40. And Moses spoke to the children of Israel, according to all that the Lord had commanded Moses. Numbers 30. 1. And Moses spoke to the heads of the tribes of the children of Israel, saying, This is the word which the Lord has commanded. 2. When a man makes a vow to the Lord, or takes an oath, binding his soul with obligation, he will not break his word, according to all that proceeds out of his mouth he will do. 3. Also when a woman in her youth, while still in her father's house, makes a vow to the Lord and binds herself with obligation. 4. And her father will hear your vow and her obligation, wherewith you bound your soul, and her father is silent towards her, all her vows will stand, and every obligation with which she bound her soul will stand. 5. But if your father stops you on the day you hear about it, all your vows and your obligations with which he has bound your soul will not be valid, but the Lord will forgive her, because her father forbade her. 6. And if she is married, and is bound by some vows, or the utterance of her lips, with which she has bound her soul. 7. And her husband will hear him, and if he is silent to her on the day he hears him, her vows will be valid, and her obligations with which she bound her soul will be valid. 8. But if her husband hinders her on the day she hears him, and annuls her vow to which she was bound, and also the utterance of her lips, with which she bound her soul, the Lord will forgive you. 9. As regards the vow of the widow, or the one put away, everything with which she binds her soul will be valid upon her. 10. But if she took a vow in her husband's house, or she bound her soul with an oath. 11. And her husband heard him, and was silent towards her, and withheld him not, all her vows will be valid, and all the obligation, with which he bound his soul, will be valid. 12. But if her husband annulled them on the day he heard them, whatever came out of her lips, whether from her vows or from the obligation of her soul, will not be valid, her husband annulled them, and the Lord will forgive her. 13. Every vow, and every oath of obligation, to humble the soul, her husband will confirm, or annul. 14. But if her husband is completely silent towards her from day to day, then he confirms all his vows and all her obligations, which are upon her, confirmed has it, because he was silent to her in the day that he heard it. 15. But if he at all nullifies them after he has heard him, then he will bear her iniquity. 16. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses between a husband and his wife, between a father and his daughter in her youth in her father's house. Numbers 31. 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, 2. Avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites, afterward you shall be gathered to your people. 3. And Moses spake unto the people, saying, Arm some of you for war, and go out against the Midianites, to execute the Lord's vengeance against them. 4. 1,000 from every tribe, out of all the tribes of Israel, you shall send to war. 5. Thus were given, out of the thousands of Israel, 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed for battle. 6. And Moses sent them to war, 1,000 of each tribe, and Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest with them, with the vessels of the sanctuary, and with the trumpets of the shout in his hand. 7. And they fought against the Midianites, as the Lord had commanded Moses, and they killed all the men. 8. And they slew the kings of Midian, in addition to those already slain, Avi, and Rechem, and Zur, and Hur, and Reba, 5 kings of Midian, also Balaam the son of Beer they killed with the sword. 9. But the children of Israel took the Midianites' women and their children captive. They also took all their animals and all their livestock and all their goods. 10. And they burned all their cities with fire, with all their dwellings and all their camps. 11. And they took all the spoil and all the prey of man and beast. 12. And they brought Moses, and Eleazar the priest, and the congregation of the children of Israel, the captives, and the prey, and the spoil, to the camp, in the plains of Moab, which are by Jordan, at the height of Jericho. 13. But Moses and Eleazar the priest, and all the princes of the congregation, went out to meet them outside the camp. 14. And Moses was very angry with the officers of the army, captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, who came from the service of war. 15. And Moses said to them, Have you let all the women live? 16. Behold, these were they which, by the counsel of Balaam, gave occasion to the children of Israel to transgress against the Lord in the case of Peor. Therefore there was that plague among the congregation of the Lord. 17. Now therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who has known a man by lying with him. 18. But all the girls who have not known a man by sleeping with him, let them live for you. 19. And lodge outside the camp 7 days, whoever killed anyone, and whoever touched a dead person, on the 3rd day and on the 7th day you shall cleanse yourselves and your captives. 20. You shall also purify every garment, and every article of skin, and every article of goat's hair, and every utensil of wood. 21. And Eleazar the priest said to the men of war who went to the battle, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord commanded Moses. 22. However the gold, and the silver, the copper, the iron, the tin, and the lead. 23. Everything that can withstand the fire, ye shall make to pass through the fire, that it may be clean, yet it shall be purified with the water of purification. But whatever cannot withstand the fire, you will make pass through the water. 24. You shall also wash your clothes on the 7th day, that you may be clean, and afterward ye shall enter into the camp. 25. The Lord spoke further to Moses, saying, 26. Take the sum of the prey that was taken, both man and beast, you and Eleazar the priest and the heads of the houses of the fathers of the congregation. 27. And he divides the prey into 2 halves, between those who armed themselves for battle, and went out to war, and the whole congregation. 28. Then thou shalt take the tribute of the men of war that went out to this battle, 1 soul out of every 500, of men, and of oxen, and of asses, and of sheep. 29. You shall take one of its half, and give it to Eleazar the priest, for the Lord's heave offering. 30. But of half the children of Israel thou shalt take 1 out of every 50, 1 of the men, of the oxen, of the asses, and of the sheep, and of every beast, and thou shalt give them to the Levites who keep the care of the tabernacle of the Lord. 31. And Moses and Eleazar the priest did, as the Lord had commanded Moses. 32. It was the booty left over from the spoil that the men of war took, 675,000 sheep. 33. And 72,000 oxen. 34. And 61,000 asses. 35. And of the women who had known no man by lying with him, all the souls were 32,000. 36. And the half, which was the portion of those who went out to war, was 337,500 sheep in number. 37. And of the sheep, the tribute for the Lord was 675. 38. And the oxen were 30 and 6,000, and his tribute to the Lord 72. 39. And the donkeys were 30,500, and his tribute to the Lord 61. 40. And there were of people 16,000, and his tribute to the Lord 32 persons. 41. And Moses gave to Eleazar the priest the tribute of the Lord's heave offering, as the Lord commanded Moses. 42. And of the half of the children of Israel whom Moses had separated from the men that fought. 43. The half of the congregation was, of the sheep, 337,500. 44. And of the oxen 30 and 6,000. 45. And of donkeys 30,500. 46. And of the people 16,000. 47. Of this half of the children of Israel, Moses took one out of every 50, both man and beast, and gave them to the Levites, who were in charge of keeping the tabernacle of the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. 48. Then the officers who were over the thousands of the army, the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds, approached Moses. 49. And they said to Moses, Your servants have taken the sum of the men of war who were under our orders, and not one of us is missing. 50. Therefore we brought an offering to the Lord, each one of what he found, articles of gold, chains or shackles, rings, earrings, and necklaces, to make atonement for our souls before the Lord. 51. So Moses and Eleazar the priest received the gold from them, all the objects being well worked. 52. And all the gold of the heave offering, which they offered to the Lord, 16,750 shekels, from the chiefs of thousands and of the chiefs of hundreds. 53. For each of the men of war had taken prey for himself. 54. So Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold from the captains of thousands and captains of hundreds, and brought it into the tabernacle of meeting as a memorial to the children of Israel before the Lord. Numbers 32. 1. And the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had cattle in great numbers, and they saw the land of Jazer, and the land of Gilead, and behold, the place was a place for cattle. 2. So the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spoke to Moses and Eleazar the priest and to the leaders of the congregation, saying, 3. Adaroth, and Dibon, and Jazer, and Nimrah, and Heshbon, and Eliel, and Sheban, and Nebo, and Beon. 4. The land which the Lord smote before the congregation of Israel is a land for cattle, and your servants have cattle. 5. And they said, If we have found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants for a possession, and do not bring us over Jordan. 6. But Moses said to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, Will your brothers go to battle, and will you remain here? 7. Why then do you discourage the hearts of the children of Israel from passing over into the land which the Lord has given them? 8. This is what your fathers did when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see this land. 9. When they came to the valley of Eshcol and saw this land, they discouraged the hearts of the children of Israel, so that they would not enter the land which the Lord had given them. 10. Then the anger of the Lord was kindled that very day, and he swore, saying, 11. That the men, who came up from Egypt, from 20 years old and upward, will not see the land that I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because they did not persevere in following me. 12. Except Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, and Joshua, son of Nun, because they persevered in following the Lord. 13. So the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he caused them to wander in the wilderness 40 years until the whole generation was consumed, which had done evil in the eyes of the Lord. 14. And behold, you, a generation of sinful men, have risen up in the place of your fathers, to add still more to the fierce anger of the Lord against Israel. 15. If you turn from following him, he too will leave you again in the wilderness, and you will destroy all this people. 16. Then they came near to him, and said, We will build pens here for our cattle, and cities for our children. 17. But we will arm ourselves, rushing ahead of Israel, until we bring them to their place, and our little ones will remain in the strong cities because of the inhabitants of the land. 18. We will not return to our homes until the children of Israel are each in possession of his inheritance. 19. For we will not inherit with them beyond Jordan, nor beyond, for we already have our inheritance on this side Jordan, on the east. 20. Then Moses said to them, If you do this, if you arm yourselves for war before the Lord. 21. And every one of you armed shall pass over Jordan before the Lord, until he has driven out his enemies from before him. 22. And the earth be subdued before the Lord, then you shall return and be blameless before the Lord and before Israel, and this land shall be your possession before the Lord. 23. And if you do not do so, behold, you have sinned against the Lord, and know that your sin will find you out. 24. Build cities for your little ones, and pens for your sheep, and do what came out of your mouth. 25. Then spake the children of Gad, and the children of Reuben unto Moses, saying, As my Lord commandeth, so shall thy servants do. 26. Our children, our women, our cattle, and all our animals will be there in the cities of Gilead. 27. But thy servants shall pass over, every man armed for war, to fight before the Lord, as my Lord hath spoken. 28. Then Moses gave a command concerning them to Eleazar the priest, and to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the houses of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel. 29. And Moses said unto them, If the children of Gad and the children of Reuben pass over Jordan with you, every man armed for war before the Lord, and the land be subdued before you, then ye shall give them the land of Gilead for possession. 30. But if they do not pass through armed with you, they will have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. 31. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, What the Lord hath spoken unto thy servants, that will we do. 32. We will pass over armed before the Lord into the land of Canaan, and we will take possession of our inheritance on this side of Jordan. 33. So Moses gave to them, to the children of Gad, and to the children of Reuben, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh, son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og king of Bashan, the land with its cities on its borders, and the cities around it. 34. And the children of Gad built Dibon, and Ataroth, and Aroer. 35. And Ataroth-Zophon, and Jazer, and Jogbeah. 36. And Beth-Nimrah, and Beth-Haran, strong cities, and sheep pens. 37. And the children of Reuben built Heshbon, and Eliel, and Kiriathaim. 38. And Nebo, and Baalmeon, changing their name, and Sibmah, and the names of the cities which they built they called by other names. 39. And the children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead, and took it, and out of that possession they drove out the Amorites who were in it. 40. So Moses gave Gilead to Machir the son of Manasseh, who dwelt there. 41. And Jair the son of Manasseh went and took his villages, and called them Havot Jair. 42. And Nobah went, and took Kenath with its villages, and he called her Nobah, after her own name.